The Italian roads of the Strade Bianche have given us some exciting racing over the years at the Giro D'Italia, but also at the modern one-day classic, self-named after these roads, the Strade Bianche. Now in this video we're going to examine why these roads are so synonymous with Italian cycling, and also some of the history behind them. Strade Bianche means white roads in Italian, and in Tuscany this expression refers to the network of back roads connecting the vineyards and olive groves in the region. Now the name comes from the fact that these roads are made up of this dry earth, limestone, gravel and small stones, and in the Tuscan summer these materials all combine to create this brilliant white colouring, which is synonymous with the Strade Bianche. The Strade Bianche or Strato are found in many different sectors across the region, with perhaps the most difficult being that of Luciano d'Asso, a 9.5 kilometre sector, and also Asciano, an 11 kilometre long sector. These aren't 2 or 3 kilometre long sectors, oh no, they're pretty long and taxing. Now, they are found on many flat routes, but at the same time, there's also quite a lot of climbing Strade Bianche sectors, with quite technical winding descents. So they don't only test a rider's climbing ability, but they also really put their bike handling ability to the sword. Positioning and route knowledge here often prove vital, with punctures and crashes absolutely decimating the peloton. Aside from the racing though, this really is one of the most beautiful and spectacular regions of Italy. I myself have raced on the Strade Bianche, not in Tuscany, but in the northwest region of Italy near Venice, in the Adriatica-Ionica race. And we did a few sectors in this race on one stage, and I gotta say, it was an experience. I've never felt anything like it in cycling actually. I just can't convey how dusty these sectors actually are. I could barely see where I was going. And I really struggled with my breathing at the time. You're just inhaling this thick, clogging dust. It was like nothing I've ever experienced in cycling before. The Tuscan area of Italy has long been synonymous with bike racing, giving rise to one of the greats of cycling, Gino Bartali. Now, in 1897, we're going a bit back here, the Italian winemaking brothers, Giulio and Ernesto Gallo, put together a bike race in order to promote their products, but also to bring together towns and villages in the region on non-asphalted roads, or Strade Bianche as we know today. Now riders were supposed to pedal until exhaustion, with the last survivor in the race being declared the winner. Sounds like cycling hasn't changed too much then. Strade Bianche, the men's race, which began in 2007, and Strade Bianche Donna, the women's version, which began in 2015, began a sort of renaissance of the Strade Bianche sectors, leading to their inclusion in the Giro D'Italia in 2010 on stage 7. Organisers were looking to recreate those heroic battles of pre-war races where racers slugged it out on these dirt roads which were widespread in Italy at the time. So whilst the Strade Bianche seems like a fairly modern addition to the racing calendar, these Strade Bianche sectors, they go all the way back to the origins of Italian cycling and are really steeped in history. Now, Gino Bartali was a cycling great, winning the Giro d'Italia in 1936 and 37, and also winning the Tour de France in 1938. And that's not forgetting his epic and historic rivalry with Fausto Coppi. However, he will also be remembered for carrying out the heroic duty for the Italian resistance of helping save persecuted Jewish people during World War II. Gino carried fake identity documents hidden in his bicycle between Florence and Assisi, using the mainly Strade Bianche dirt road backroads to remain hidden from authorities. Gino used his persona and fame as a professional cyclist to deflect the attention of any inquisitive guards who were inquiring about his rather long training rides. The route was 180k over the rough Strade Bianche roads, and it was tough going. It was a difficult ride for Gino. However, it saved the lives of many, with Gino picking up more fake identity documents in Assisi from a priest there at the monastery, before riding all the way back to Florence and distributing the fake documents to hiding Jewish people. It was a truly heroic act, and Gino risked his life on every journey he made over those rough Strade Bianche roads. However, it was something he never talked about after the war. And later on, when he was asked about his wartime work, he simply stated, "The good is done, but it is not said. And some medals hang on the soul, but not on the jacket." Back to modern times now, and that stage in the 2010 Giro D'Italia. And what a stage it was. Stage 7 of the 2010 Giro was a spectacular fair and hailed as perhaps the most exciting in modern racing history over those Strade Bianche roads. The stage was characterised by apocalyptic rain which coated the riders in the thick mud of the Strade Bianche sectors. Cadel Evans emerged victorious, hailing his mountain biking past for the bike handling abilities to simply get over the sectors, and he held a spectacular stage. However, other riders weren't as keen, with green jersey wearer Matthew Lloyd saying after the race, "I can understand they want a spectacular stage, but something like what we've just done is ridiculous if you ask me." With 60 kilometres to go on the stage, the peloton was in pieces. And Alexander Vinokourov actually described the last 45 kilometres of the stage as worse than Paris-Roubaix. So I can only imagine how difficult this stage must have been. Vincenzo Nibali actually crashed heavily on a Strade Bianche sector. He got up, helped by his teammates, and fought on to the end, displaying his never say die attitude. It was an iconic fight back, and Nibali actually only conceded 2 minutes on the stage. And the stage in general will just forever be immortalised as a famous modern day cycling stage. Every time we see the Strade Bianche, particularly at the Giro, it's like we have gone back in time to a different generation of cycling. And whilst the Strade Bianche isn't included in every single Giro, I think that makes it all the more special, because when it does come around, when it is included in those rare stages, we have to savour the moment, and it really is just a spectacular stage, no matter the weather or the conditions or the outcome of the stage. It's just brilliant watching people race on the Strade Bianche sectors. And for that reason, I for one just cannot wait for the Strade Bianche's next inclusion at the Giro D'Italia. Thanks for watching everyone, and please let me know in the comment section below if you've been lucky enough to ride your bike in Tuscany, what is your favourite Strade Bianche sector? And if you have any epic photos of the famous white roads of the Strade Bianche, I'd love to see them uploaded in the GCN app. Really looking forward to seeing all those, and I'd love to get inspired myself, because I just cannot wait to get back over to Italy and ride my bike on the Strade Bianche. Thanks for watching everyone, and see you all soon.